Why putting your health first is important. The bravest decision of my career, that was to retire at my peak. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to episode 1 of the Stronger with Scarlett podcast. Today, I want to answer a question, which is, what's the point of being one of the strongest women in the world if you're falling apart inside? It's a big picture, and I want to talk about why putting your health first is important, but also why that's really important for me, the woman that I am, who I strive to be, the things I preach about, my values of my business. The underlying mission in my business is to help women understand their bodies, balance their hormones, listen to their inner self. And if I have stopped doing that or got a little bit too far sidetracked from my mission, then it's time to kind of bring it back into alignment. Don't get me wrong, I have zero regrets on my journey. I've had the most epic time as a competitive world-class athlete. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Scarlett Harvey. I'm 36 years old. I have a world record deadlift of 277.5 kilos. That's 612.5 pounds. No, that's not off a standard bar on the floor. That is off an axle bar, which is thick, and it's about 18 inches off the floor. Anyway, regardless, I have achieved what most athletes would want to achieve in their life, which is to become one of the best in the world at what you do. And then became a pro strongwoman, competing internationally across continents, winning world championships, breaking world records, and winning national titles. Anyway, it wasn't just strength titles that I've achieved or athletic titles. I also achieved Dubai's Best Female Life Transformation in 2019. That was for losing the weight, learning about my body, transforming my hormones, and ultimately changing my whole lifestyle, not just crash dieting or anything like that. The following year, I won the GCC Best Life Transformation 2020, again for similar reasons, plus the sustained weight loss. Lots of people can lose weight and then lots of people gain it straight back again. So it's about making it sustainable. I then won Health and Wellness Woman of the Year in 2022. That was through a organisation called Women Who Thrive. That was an amazing achievement as well. Britain's Strongest Woman, Middle East Strongest Woman, China's Strongest Woman. So they have my credentials, stay tuned. Anyway, what you don't see behind all the medals and behind all the trophies is my hormone balance, my nervous system constantly in overdrive, the mental stress, being an athlete and pushing your limits, putting pressure on yourself, and the quiet days where I've spent a lot of time alone over the last 2 years. A lot. If you're not watching the YouTube video of this, you just see me have a little cry. Some deep alone time is what I've had. And although, some of that's been really sad, it's been very self-reflective. I've done huge amounts of work on my inner self, my values, my ethos, my mission, my work, my business structure. What am I trying to achieve? Who am I? Am I still the athlete Scarlett? Yes, I will still always train because I practice what I preach, and I believe in strength training, muscle mass, longevity. I believe in the mental focus, blood circulation, the overall health benefits from training, moving and lifting weights. Do I need to continue to push myself to prove who I am, what I'm capable of? I made the hardest but maybe the bravest decision of my career. That was to retire at my peak. It's not because I'm weak. I actually think, and I don't mean muscularly strong or physically strong, I think I'm the strongest in my soul and in myself that I've ever been in my life. And I've always thought I was quite a strong person. But to be able to let go of that and know that I have so much more about myself than just being an athlete, and I want to share all of those things. I want to educate and I want to support women. I want to have a big impact in the world of women's health, wellness, hormones, longevity and strength training. That includes mental health as well, due to my own personal journey. The truth is that my health matters more than any more medals and any trophies ever will. So retirement isn't an end for me. In actual fact, it kind of feels like I'm only just starting, which is really weird, because I remember when I started this journey 8 years ago, I felt like this would have been the peak. This would have been at the moment, the world championship, the world records, but actually I feel like achieving those milestones athletically have been the top of one mountain, and the top of that mountain is actually just the very bottom of my next mountain. And it's like I reached that peak and I looked up and I thought, there's so much more for me to achieve. There's so much more for me to share, and there's so much more impact for me to have in the world. It's kind of daunting, it's very overwhelming, but it's massively exciting. And let's go. So I will be teaching women how to train smarter and respect their bodies. That's really important. Turning my journey of women's health into my art exhibition, which is called The Whole Woman Unveiled. And my mission there is to make the invisible of women's health become visible, because so much of what goes on with the women's health is internal, whether that's mental or physical. We can't see it, and therefore it's very hard to actually understand it. So I'm using abstract art to help people understand what's actually going on. My book. So I've written a book. I'm already writing my next book, and I have like 6 others planned in my head. So my book is a memoir of a year of my life that was very difficult in my mental health, but it also incorporates strength training, being an athlete, being a woman. It incorporates PCOS, menopause, fertility, all things that made lots of things compounded within 1 year to make that year very difficult for me personally. And my coaching. I don't just coach athletes, I coach general population, or we call it Gen Pop. And I believe being a primary school teacher has given me the gift, or I was born with the gift, I don't know, to be able to break complex concepts down into really easy, digestible, understandable methods and instructions. So if you wanted to start learning to lift, and of course it's really daunting and you don't even know where to start, please contact me. Either you can send me an email, you can log into my website, or drop me a DM on Instagram. We can get chatting, because I'm sure I'll be able to help you and break down the overwhelming fear of going into the gym for the first time and get you lifting, because I talk about all the time the millions of amazing health benefits, physically and mentally, of strength training. Sometimes some of the bravest decisions in life isn't to keep pushing harder. Sometimes it's actually braver and stronger of you to step back, self-reflect, pause, and maybe just redirect or realign yourself, make a complete 180, whatever. Sometimes we think it's braver and stronger and more resilient to just keep pushing in one direction, which is what I've done for a long time and I've achieved a lot. But I actually think by just taking a moment to take a step back has been really valuable exercise. And I would like to advocate that lots of other people in this busy, fast, changing world that we live in, with AI and jobs and online work and content and social media, just everything all the time, there's a lot of noise, a lot of pressure, and just to take a step back and reflect. Please do that. Make the time for yourself to do that. So this podcast basically will be covering mind, body and soul, hormones, health, longevity, strength training, my book, my coaching, my art. And I'd love you to stay around, hang out with me for the journey. I'll be sharing lessons, I'll be bringing in guests, and there'll be some really interesting conversations happening on here. So if you'd like to know more, hang about, and we'll see you in the next one. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, share this with a friend and encourage them to check in and stay tuned. If you're here on Spotify or Apple Music, stay with us, but you can also watch this on a YouTube video. If you've got any topics or subjects or questions that you'd like to ask me that I can address on the podcast, and I shall see you in the next one. Take care.